So I'm going to go ahead and start by just giving a quick overview of what. So this is the area on the hub where we can actually have some student-professor interaction. The basis of courses are just training, education. We're focusing here on actually providing content to students through an e-learning experience versus just an actual on-site course. We have a lot of hubs who utilize courses not only as e-learning and distance learning, but also they can have it be interaction between professors and the content on the hub, such as tools and resources that are already available. So this is a great feature to actually implement on your hubs, especially if you do see a lot of your student usage going up, and if you have a lot of professors and faculty and staff that are interested in your hub and what your hub offers. So getting started, we're going to go through the basics of actually building a course from ground zero all the way up. Megan's going to be my administrator for today. So the use case that we have built is that I am a professor who has come to Megan's hub, which is our QA 200, and asked to have a course built all about Purdue, fun facts about Purdue. And so myself as a general user would not be able to build this course from scratch. I would need to submit a support ticket to my administrator to actually have this course be set up on the back end. So Megan, if you can go ahead and take over from here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. So, I think, Claire, did you share the screen? Okay. Maybe. I think you have to make me the presenter. Okay. Okay. Sorry, bear with me, everybody. I'm trying to share my screen. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, I am logged in as the administrator to the admin side of our QA, of our hub. So you would navigate to components and courses. And from here, this is just going to be the shell, like Claire said, this is going to be from ground zero going up. So this is going to allow the administrator to create the shell of the course. So you can see that these are existing courses that are already here. So for what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be making a new course. And you can assign it to a group from here if you like. So if you have a particular group on your hub that you want associated with this group, you can do that. It's kind of, if you think of it just kind of like advertising, it's going to put that group's tag associated with that course. We're not going to be doing that today, but that's certainly something that you can do. And then the alias, we're just going to call this Purdue Fun Facts.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi, this is Dr. Griffin. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for joining today.
Thank you.
Did you have a question, or you were just dialing in?
No, I'm just dialing in.
Oh, perfect. Okay, welcome. We just now got started, and we're going through how to create a course on the admin side, and so only the administrator can do this, not the manager of the course or like a professor in this case. So we are going to be building this, the shell of the course as the administrator, and then that way for this call today, Claire is our professor that she's going to then go in and actually build the course and the classes and the tests and everything. But I'm just showing everyone on the admin side what to do.
Okay. Yeah, I may have to cut off early at 2:30.
Okay, that's fine. If you just want to mute your microphone, and if you have a question throughout, feel free to just go ahead and put that in through the chat on the WebEx. We just want to keep good record of all the questions that we're getting.
Okay, very good.
Okay. So for the title then, we're just going to, again, make this Purdue Fun Facts. And then this blurb is just going to allow you to give a brief overview of what the students will actually be seeing in this course. Very simple. Also, an optional is you can determine the length of what the course is going to be in terms of days or weeks or months. You don't have to, and this is going to be able to be edited through the professor. So it would be good if you could get with the course manager or the course instructor beforehand, but if you misspeak or you don't want to or just want to leave it up to them, you can do that too. So I'm actually just going to put in 1 week. And then, again, the estimated effort, how many hours it should take. Again, this is optional, but it just kind of gives a good guideline of going into it, what the student can expect. So for this one, we're just going to put 2 hours a week. And then here down at your description, you can go into more in-depth detail of the course itself. So at the blurb, you just put in a quick little snippet about a fun fact, and this description is going to actually go into detail. So we will just say, sorry, I get nervous. It's like everyone's watching me, even though I know they're not here. Some of the facts. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tag this course, and you just want to be sure that you separate each tag by a comma so they actually will show up on the front end. Okay. From here, you have to be sure that for the state, it does need to be published, and you need to do this first and then save it. And then from here, you can add an image. So we're going to add an image of Purdue for our course. And this step has to come after you've put it into a published state. And then save again. And then your image will show up there. From here now, I am going to add Claire as the instructor of this course. I can add from here a course observer, a teaching assistant, a manager, but I don't need to because the manager, Claire in this case, the instructor of the course, she's going to actually be adding in her students. But if you wanted to add more from this side, you could. So Claire is going to be our instructor, and there you can see her right there. And you'll just need to know the user ID. So hers in this case was Cfrist. And then I want to save. And then save and close. And there my shell is now built, if I could find it just to make sure. Maybe. Actually, it probably goes in. Oh, is it? Okay. All right. Okay. We saw. Oh, there we go. Fun facts about Purdue. So you can see that I have one manager, no offerings or no pages yet because that's where we're going to turn it over to Claire so she can go ahead and build the course as the instructor.
Thank you, Megan. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take over again so we can move on from the professor's viewpoint of actually building. So what I would do after my ticket that I submitted to Megan, the administrator, was closed, saying that she created the shell of the course, and then kind of giving me probably general information like what the name of the course was and everything. I would then come to the hub, go to either courses, or it should show up on my dashboard under courses that I currently are part of. So as you can see, since she added me as the instructor, I'm already set up with the fun facts about Purdue. Clicking on the title will automatically take me to the main page of courses. This is a nice thing to know as well. Even though Megan did a lot of the setup, such as the description and the short title and everything, I have access to change any of that. So if you have a professor who's kind of unsure maybe about what all the course will detail, just setting up a generic shell, they will have access to edit everything afterwards, so there shouldn't be any issues about trying to communicate back and forth on details. So what I would want to do is first make sure that there is an offering. So what an offering is basically the segment of time that this course is available. So for example, you can have a default offering that is on all year round, or you could have it more specifically set up so that it's spring 2016 or fall 2017, depending on when you want to actually host this course. And the difference being mainly where either content is going to change depending on the semester that you're offering or the time that you're offering this course, or the instructors are going to change. And that's why you have different offerings. And from the back end, you can kind of manage those a little bit more on who the instructor is as well. So I'm going to kind of create a short, I'll do fall. So then I actually will have this gold button pop up stating that my offering is ready to go. Just by simply clicking on fall, I'll be taken inside of the course. Now this is where all of the action of the course takes place. The dashboard, which is the first tab on the left-hand side, actually gives you a general overview. Now this overview is going to be different from what a student will see, because this is what an instructor sees as an overview. So I can see who's enrolled, passing and failing, anything coming up that week, such as announcements or if there's a due date coming up, and then what's going on in the discussion thread as well. And a student has a similar view, and Megan will show us this later as the student, what that view will be like. It's a little bit different, same kind of style though, so we'll check back into that in a little bit. Actually, setting up the content though of the course all comes down to the outline. So this is a nice little tip and trick. If you forget any of what these tabs mean, you can actually go over here. It's this getting started button. We'll show you the same page, and how to exit is just a click away and it will disappear. But those are just like short little bits of info if you forget what each tab represents. But going back to where we were, the outline, this is where we actually build the content of the course. How it's going to be built is similar to a syllabus. It's going to have everything outlined by units, and from there we'll have our lectures, our exams, our assignments, and quizzes. But how to get to that building page, I can either click on Outline Builder or Build Outline button up here. So once I get here, I will have to start by adding a new course. So my new course is my new unit is going to be just Unit 1. Save. And then automatically it has lectures, homework, exam, references, and activities automatically populated. If you are an admin on your own hub, you can change these in the back end, but that's a little bit more of a detailed step that we won't get into right at this moment. But let's say that I don't want to have all of these appearing for my students, especially if I'm never going to use references or activities or even homework. So what I can do is if I highlight over the title, I can see this little edit button. And from there, I can actually remove it and say no as published. So then this box will be kind of hashed out, meaning that when a student views the course, they will not be able to see this field or area. So I'm going to do the same down here, just again stating no as published. So then that way I can kind of clean up and there are no empty areas without content for my student to see. So my student should only be able to see lectures and exams. So for lectures, what I would do is go ahead and add a new lecture. This will add a new assessment group, and this is where you can actually upload the file or even embed a YouTube video if you have published videos on your YouTube site. And you can also maybe add a wiki page or browse for files on your desktop. And the first one is attach a link. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and attach a link, and I'm going to say purdue.edu, since that should be the first link that a user would go to. Whenever I add something new, this little caution symbol is going to pop up, and what I want to make sure is that everything is published, and this sign is telling me that it's not published right now. So all I have to do is just click this checkbox, a little check mark will appear, and then that will be available for the student to go ahead and access. Without clicking published, even though I might have added many things here, a student will never be able to see it without having it published. So I'm going to go ahead and add another lecture, and this time I'm going to embed a YouTube video. So now that I have that pulled up, I am going to open up my courses cheat sheet here, grab my video, and we have my Purdue video, which describes all the different places of Purdue, and it has various fun facts in detail there. What you can do as embedding purposes, go to Share and Embed, and here you're going to get this nice little chunk iframe, which you can copy then, go back to your course, paste, and add. So again, just going to your video, clicking embed, copying this link that you're going, or this section, grabbing the actual video itself, adding. Again, I have this caution, so I have to make sure I am publishing this video, and then there I have my lecture video up and available for all my students to actually view. Now, sometimes when you upload something, you kind of get this ugly title, right? I don't really want my user or my students to see new YouTube video as the lecture video. So simply changing that is clicking on the title and then saying Unit 1 lecture video. Save, and then it's a little bit more, it's cleaned up, it's nicer. And you can also edit these group names, again, just saying if there are multiple, and save. So now I have everything kind of cleaned up, and I'm going to just do this. One last thing. So now my students will be able to kind of sort through the outline a little bit better, knowing where the links are, where the lecture videos are, and then kind of being able to see what all the content is under each section. When you highlight over, let's say that I created these two, but now that I'm staring at it for a while, I don't really like the order of how my outline is looking. I would like my lecture videos to be first. What I would do is just hold my mouse over the section, grab this first button with arrows going up and down, drag up or drag down, and in this case I'm going to drag up so that my lecture videos are the first thing that my students see, and then the links will be after that. So I have my lectures all put together, everything's ready to go. The next thing I want to do for my course is add an exam. So just again, clicking the add a new exam, getting this nice little group pop up. Here is the most important thing about adding exams. We actually have some capabilities in the course's platform where you can have it easily automatically grade any exams that you post. But the thing is, you actually have to make sure your file that you're uploading is a PDF. Anything else will not allow you to have that access, to have the actual component itself grade the material. You would have to go in and grade it yourself. So knowing that fact, I'm going to go ahead and browse for files and grab my exam, my Purdue course Unit 1 exam PDF. Open. Now I'm going to receive this pop-up asking what I'm doing here. Am I going to create a quiz in our exam or posting notes or slides? So I'm going to go ahead and say an exam, so then that way I can actually set it up for you to see how to build the exam for the component to grade it. So again, this pop-up is going to request a title, so Unit 1 exam. And this is the content that was actually in my PDF. Now, how do I actually create my questions? I get these little crosshairs or replacement of my pointer, and this is where I can drag and create this nice yellow box, which you can move around to kind of fit your question a little bit better. Now this is basically saying this is the area where a student can click to answer this question. The more bold section is where the question is going to actually be set up as, and then this lighter gold is where the answers are. So again, with my crosshair, I'm going to click on each of my answers. And then radio buttons will appear by each answer that I have for this one question. And the final thing that I do is give the answer. So, what area of focus was Purdue founded on? Agriculture. There, it highlights it as green, which means this is the correct answer. So once my student takes this course, they would see the radio buttons. Hopefully they would click the right answer, and from there, the component would know that they have answered correctly. I'm going to do this real fast for my other questions. Again, just clicking on each of the sections and then answering what is the right answer for each question. And sometimes lose a little crosshairs. And let's say you don't necessarily get as big of a box that you want. What I just did there was expand it a little bit more, or kind of size it as you want to. So then that way you make sure that all of the answers are freely available. And again, you can move them as you see fit. It's not the right one. And let's say my radio button, I did make a mistake there by giving the wrong answer. Just clicking this X on the side will remove the radio button, and or I can always change the answer if I did accidentally select the wrong answer. So now I am good to go there. I have this radio button, but he doesn't need to be there. Once I'm done, once I've gotten all my questions set up, I say save and close. Save is complete. It will run a short virus check, and then again I just publish it. This is where the final pop-up appears, asking about how much time I have left for how much time I'm going to actually give the students to take the quiz. So I'm going to be a little bit more gracious than others and give them 15 minutes to complete, but they only have one attempt to complete my exam. So you can either move it up and down or highlight to choose your answer. Results. This determines what the student is actually going to see after they complete their exam, and also once the course is finished, what they'll be able to see. So for this, I'm going to leave these as they are on default by saying that once they have completed in the form, meaning the course is still open for other users to take, the users will only be able to see their score. So the student will only be able to see their score versus the comparison of the answers. So in that way, my students don't cheat and give each other the answers if that was their objective all along. But once the course is closed, then they'll be able to see the answers for each of the exams. So I say create deployment, and then everything will be set up and good to go. So at this point in time, I am done building my outline for my course. I just simply click done, and now we will see everything as it is nicely in its syllabus style outline. Kind of graciously going through a few more things. Discussions. This is where you can set up discussion threads between your students, where students can ask questions between each other. It's basically like a forum, and a lot of professors use this so that their students can become more engaged with each other since it is an online learning course. You can start a discussion or create a new section by clicking Manage. I'm going to put Q and A here so everyone knows that this is the area where they can ask their questions and answers. And then creating a new category, so specifically maybe their questions are going to be focused about, we'll say, Purdue Pete. And if there was a point in time that maybe this category was done, I didn't want my students to ask any more questions about Purdue Pete, I could always come back here, edit, and then say lock the category, which means that it will archive all of the previous questions and answers, but no new questions and answers can be added. Click Submit. From that point, I'll have everything set up for my discussion threads where my students can actually discuss how many posts there are, and I can always come over, edit, and delete as I see fit. The progress bar will be where my students are actually listed. There will be their names, their actual progress, so depending on how many units, there will be a little runner running between units explaining to me where they are in the course, and then their current score. Here's where I actually want to determine my status for the different exams. What is the response rate? What is the average so far? Minimum, maximum, so I can see how they are doing in the course.
Claire, really quick. Mark had a question. Is there a way to add informational text in the outline to supplement links?
Supplement links. So more specifically, are we asking to maybe, oops, I digress. Go back. Are you asking to maybe change this here to more of a specific about the link, or adding a short description about it? All of the above. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mark. So what I could do here is edit, change. I can change my title so that I can have more of a detailed description about what they're supposed to do. Most of these are kind of short answered, quick steps. A lot of times what you would want to do is have it so it's a simple task, right? We don't want to try to give them all of the lecture slides in one short little piece of information. So the title is really going to act as your step-by-step process, and the name of the content itself but you can always feel free to add a little task beside the title. So for example, so I have kind of explained it a little bit more now in my title by giving them, again, the description of what the content is and what the task is that they're going to complete and submit. And, so is there a way to add additional information? Like some content. So this is kind of more of just how you want to use the course, right? So we can have it set up where these are the areas that you can upload content, but actually explaining to the students what their tasks are, how they're going to complete each of the units. That's more along the lines of like what the professor wants to convey to the students. What you could do, what I would suggest the users doing when they're actually building their course, specifically professors, is this is a great way to view all of the content available in the course, but like you pointed out, students still need more steps involved. So by simply creating in your first Unit 1 a syllabus section, and then that way you can actually post the syllabus, what are the expectations for the course. That's more up along the lines of what the professor needs to do. We have professors who also just use pages, which they can create a content page outlining the syllabus on what the students need to do. And even though it kind of moves away from the outline, the content itself, we have professors also coming to announcements and making a short announcement saying that the student needs to go view the syllabus. And then saying, and maybe it lasts the first week of the course as students are coming in. So at this point, I have my announcement up and running. I go to my outline, and then there is the announcement saying that they need to go to the syllabus in the Pages tab here in order to learn what they're going to do in this course, and more of a directional piece on how to interact with the content itself.
Claire, really quick, just going back to the course itself, I know for this example we only used radio buttons, but the question was asked, can you have questions with like a checkbox? There could be multiple answers. Can there be a fill in the blank, or is it only radio button type of questions?
So right now how courses are set up is specifically interacting with radio buttons. We don't have that functionality in place just because it's more of a simple style. The more interactive kind of maybe check marks, or by even saying that having a long essay answer to a question, that is something where it would be not set up the same way I just showed you, but more of an uploaded PDF or an uploaded document that says Exam 1, and the professor would actually come to the course itself and have to grade the materials there from that point. So since it's a little bit more detailed and we don't always know what the answer is, since it's not straightforward as much as what the radio buttons offer. But that's, sorry.
No, yes. Okay, but as far as that goes, it can only be a radio button single answer. There can't be there can't be multiple answers to a question. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. Didn't mean to digress at all too much from it. but we do know that it's kind of a very simplistic way of having the course function, but it is a little bit nicer and easier on the professor versus them coming through and having to make sure to grade everything. So it's just kind of more of a helper for the professor, but we still expect professors to be professors and kind of curate and see how their students are doing on the exams as they take them. So, moving on, we've kind of talked about pages and announcements. Notes, this is an area where a student actually gets to interact. So if they are watching a video, they can actually come to this page while watching the video and make a note. Or I'm sorry, when they're actually watching the video, there will be a button saying add a note, and each time period of the video, of the lecture that they're watching, they can add like a quick sticky note about their thoughts maybe, or even just highlighting it. Maybe there is a specific vocabulary word that they want to pay attention to, so they can quickly throw in a sticky note designating the actual time stamp of that video, whether it's at 30 seconds or 10, 35, if it's deeper into the video, if it's a 20-minute video, they can kind of add in those notes. So users, the student then can come to this page, see all of the notes that they've made in their lecture slides while watching their lectures, and then that way it's kind of an easy way for them to remember what they just watched. So this is everything that you can interact with on the front end as a professor. So at this point in time, what I'm going to have Megan do is go ahead and take over again and log in with her just admin account where she created. Now since she's not necessarily a student set up, you can go in, find the course since it's open to everybody. We've not set it up so that it's restricted to only a certain subset of students. So it should be open for her to actually go and access. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my sharing, and she can take the ball back. So hopefully everything made sense from what I discussed earlier. And again, if you have more questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll get to them as we move on.
Okay, so I have now logged in, and I will navigate to courses.
And navigate to general courses, so /courses, because you've not joined this course yet. The courses. Enter. And then browse.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I had to be added.
So just to quickly explain what happened, Megan was doing the same thing that I was doing, expecting to automatically be set up on the course. But since she's not actually tried to join the course yet as a student, she won't be able to find it in her dashboard. So whenever a student comes to the hub and they have not set themselves up with a course yet, they will actually want to browse through the courses and then go to the course. So now she sees this nice golden button saying go to course, which will mean that she will go to the first available offering that is available. So enroll for free. There are no restrictions that are not allowing her to access the course. So again, she can kind of see that overview page that we had, and then just by simple click, she'll be able to see the course as a student. And from this point on, I'm going to kind of talk her through this. She can see my lecture video now. Maybe, you're going to have to watch the video as you take in too ambitious, young grasshopper. So go ahead and play the video again, and you're going to watch it, enjoy the lovely scenery of Purdue, and maybe she's discovered, oh, that's a nice little water fountain, I'm going to make a note saying I saw a water fountain at this point, and then just click the nice delete button, and it will remain there. Your little icon on the left-hand side.
Where am I at?
It's all right. You
Okay.
can click a new if you wanted to create a new note.
Oh, a new note. Okay. Okay, there we go.
So again, it's going to throw up a new note so she can add, oh look, another water fountain, for example. Purdue is famous for all of their water fountains. Moving on, she will watch the video, kind of maybe.
Did you make this a requirement?
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. Did you tell them that you have that option? Okay.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
Again, this kind of being a more open course, professors have the ability to set it up, and if everyone's interested, maybe we can take a few moments to kind of backpedal a little and show where that area is. But that's by setting up parameters so that students will have to take one section, maybe watch one video before they actually go and view the link, for example, and so on and so forth. So then that way students are forced to maybe complete Unit 1 before they go on to Unit 2, and there's a little bit more of a structure to the course. So let's say that Megan's looked at the Purdue page, and now she's confident enough to go and actually take the exam. So just by clicking on the exam, she'll be informed that she has 15 minutes and one try to complete 3 questions. So continue. Be able to see my nice little crosshairs and determine what answers she thinks as fit. You can only answer one question at a time. I see your indecision.
Do you want me to get one wrong to show?
Yep.
Okay.
I know she cheated a little by being able to view what my answers were, but it's okay. We'll forgive her for now. So it seems like she was not able to answer all of them correctly, so she was docked from her 100% and given a specific percentage since she only got 2 out of the 3 correct. So if she were to click the back to course button on her upper right-hand side, she'll go back to the course, back to the outline, but now she can go to progress and kind of see that she's taken one of the quizzes. This is kind of like a little slip up since when you do create the exam, the quiz itself, it's actually up to the professor to go in and determine whether it is a quiz or an exam, because it allows for both when you are creating that section so that it's automatically graded. So assume a user is not allowed to take the exam ever again. So once completed. Did you have more of a question there, Ishwar? Oh, no, okay, all right. So this is the outline. She can see that there's only one Unit 1. If she were to kind of go through and parse through the unit a little bit more, and we don't have to at this point in time, and actually click on the link and everything, she'll see that she's completed everything in Unit 1. And then going to that notes section, she can kind of see her notes as she wrote them while publishing them on her, while watching her video, her lecture slides. And now at this point she's in her discussion thread and she can actually ask questions if she wants to. This is in her personal discussion thread, but as you see on that left-hand inner bar, oh, never mind, she figured it out faster than I could explain it. She can actually post from there to the Q&A section that we created earlier. So if you want to go ahead and click on the Q&A gray, you can open it up and see that you've made that post. And from there, she can reply either to herself or someone can reply. And if she's not maybe using it properly, someone might report her for abuse. So there's always that safety check in case anyone's a little bit unfair, and that lets the professor and administrator know that there's someone not being fair on a course. So that is everything we had set up to talk about today. At this point in time, if anyone has any questions or there's a general consensus to highlight a specific area a little bit more in detail, we can. I'm going to go ahead and take over the ball again so I can be readily available for anyone as a professor viewpoint, especially if we wanted to go through the parameters a little bit more since we missed that section. I'm going to go back to my course. Kind of getting a feeler out there if everyone's still alive and suffered through all 56 minutes of us. We can kind of answer any questions you might have at this time. Well, I'm glad that IU is not so unforgiving that they don't want to learn a little bit about Purdue. How about that? Well, right now we don't have anything readily available specifically with what we just created. What you could do, though, there is an introduction course to HUBzero on HUBzero.org. So if you would like to just go there, again, like what we kind of have done, I'll just jump there as we speak, so then that way kind of get a feeler of what I'm talking about. So HUBzero.org/courses, we have a couple of courses that are available, but specifically you can take this introduction to HUBzero, go to the course, and kind of learn a little bit more about what you're getting into. Go ahead and sign in. You can take some fun material that we've crafted. If you wanted to learn more about the components, take a few quizzes for us, learn about tools, maybe complete some homework for us. But there you can interact with everything a little bit more in detail, and we already have some usage just from students that have come through and learned about HUBzero for us.
Did you see Chris's question?
Yep, I just saw it. So will they be seen by the instructor? So we're going to go ahead and bounce back here before I forget where to go. So they will not be able to be seen by the instructor. I just kind of wanted to do a quick check myself because every once in a while we forget the fun things, right? But this is something more personal to the student themselves. They can actually learn, they can just view their notes as they go on. So the instructor is not able to see them, and it kind of in a way makes sense since normally when you're in a big lecture hall, your professors aren't able to see all of your notes as you're taking them, just in case that you might want to write a frowny face when the instructor is a little bit maybe cantankerous for one day. So
are the notes exportable?
I don't believe so. I think that it's something personal and it's just saved and archived on that course itself. But that would be a good question. What we can do, Mark, is follow up with you later on and kind of shoot you an email later once we kind of dig into it, since we kind of are a little bit unsure. Any more questions? We're kind of wrapping up here the final few seconds. I'm glad everyone is happy with what we've shared so far, and we appreciate the fact that we were actually helpful and useful to everybody. So thank you again, and we appreciate you tuning in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now, and feel free to tune in with us on June 30th. We're going to have another tutorial about managing groups, this time kind of diving into the tips and tricks about managing groups, and this time around we might have at the end of the training session a little bit more of a community interaction and allow you guys to talk between each other and ask us any questions if you want to share your thoughts and feelings about how you manage groups on your own hub. But we appreciate everyone's time, and we thank you for tuning in and being a part of HUBzero's first tutorial. Thank you.